Fire Emblem. Engage.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me once again on this Fire Emblem Engage Pacifist playthrough. In Chapter 15, we have immediately snapped up a few items that just hit the shelves. Alear and Diamant get new Obstruct staves, newcomer Hortensia gets Warp, and Fogado, Citrinne, and Hortensia promote with Master Seals. Both Ivy and Boucheron 2 inherited Reposition from Ike, which is very cheap at 200 SP. Kagetsu sits this one out, since combat is not our focus today.
Here goes.
The objective is to have Seedal, the green unit in the center of the map, escape by using his action on a valid tile. He won't move anywhere by himself, so step 1 is to go recruit him with Alear. There are 3 low-level enemies that will seek out Seedal, but they pose no threat if we move quickly.
Let's go!
Honestly, even the normal enemies don't concern us much in terms of stats. In our context, you can almost think of them as terrain that moves. We want to funnel this moving terrain out of our way.
Pray.
Pendreo blocks off the space to the right of where Ivy will move, because she can face crit chances from incoming steel weapons. Afterward, Ivy herself repos Pendreo upward. The 3 tiles below will be walled off by some moving terrain of our own, a trio of cavalry-type units. This shared subclass means that Miriam can protect Fogado and Tusharon reliably with Bonded Shield. She does her best Pendreo impression by holding the Micaiah engraved Slim Sword. Citrinne and Hortensia move behind the safety of our new wall.
Okay.
As you can see, these low-level Corrupted are not very dangerous to Seedal. The ice block below him forces the second attacker to strike from the right, which will let us manipulate him further in the next turn. The axe fighter that ended up on the pillars normally wants to break the destructible wall 2 spaces above him. The idea is that he guns for Seedal if you let him bust through. However, we want to use the tile he would attack from, so we force him to reroute. His buddies make no progress against our wall of units. Hey there, Seedal. Need a hand?
Huh?
Upon Seedal's recruitment, the escape point changes to a pair of tiles in the bottom right. The intended route is a clockwise path through multiple locked rooms and dozens of enemies. We'll pass on all that. Instead, we intend to utilize Warp and the rescue staff Diamant obtained in Chapter 13 to transport our new recruit toward the objective. Seedal comes equipped with Emblem Corrin, who can create terrain based on a unit subclass. The Dancer class is a Chi adept, so Seedal can create a 3x2 rectangle of ice. This lets him advance toward the bottom right in almost complete safety. In order to progress into the covered rooms, we need to break down the 30 HP doors that lead into them. The top left door is 4 tiles away from the nearest spot in the central room, which means it's usually out of reach. However, a Mystic unit engaged with Byleth gets 2 extra tome range, so Citrinne can do this. Now that her job up top is done, I want Citrinne to move toward the objective as quickly as possible. With a few ice blocks in place, we are able to set up a rescue boost with Pendreo. The rescue staff normally teleports a unit for the shortest possible distance. When breaking ties, the priority is north, west, east, then south.
Is that a rare critter?
It's very nice of these Corrupted to bring compact axes, ensuring that Alear cannot crit them. If they don't stand on miasma tiles, Alear deals a considerable amount of damage, even with a Slim Sword. Miasma tiles are usually a pain to deal with, but in a pacifist setting, we're quite happy when enemies stand on them. As a note, Citrinne can use a Magic Tonic instead of a Sigurd engraving to burn down the door in one shot. While it's not strictly necessary, I want to complete this chapter before Citrinne has to disengage with Byleth. This means I want to break all of the necessary doors and have Seedal escape by turn 4. To that end, Hortensia warps Alear into the northern corridor, where she will use our first Great Ether. The offensive potential of this engage attack is vast, but here, we are much more interested in the +5 defense and +10 resistance that it grants to our flying main character. The rest of our squad prepares for a flurry of staff usage next turn. Ivy takes the rescue staff from Pandreo before earning a level up with Obstruct. She only has Lin equipped for the SP gain.
The choice is yours.
Seadoll gives the enemies the cold shoulder. Diamant uses Obstruct to ensure that the rightmost corrupted will not attack him from his left. In retrospect, letting them both attack Hortensia also works here.
A fine recipe.
Tusharon repositions Citrinne for the second time in as many turns. This is why we wanted her to end up south of Pandreo rather than east. Otherwise, a repo would overshoot the wall Ivy broke. On turn 3 enemy phase, there's not much happening that we haven't already seen before. I'll just mention that it's possible to cut down on some Obstruct uses if you're willing to rig enemy movement. But, because I had already done a practice playthrough, I was able to determine that I had enough uses to follow the current plan. It just meant that I had to sit down and calculate how to spread out the Obstruct uses across the 6 available staves. Having 2 uses on 5 different staves is a lot more flexible than 10 uses on 1 staff.
Here until the end.
With a skill Demolish from Ike, no door is safe. This reveals the penultimate room. At this point, it's rather well known that Hortensia is the only unit who can warp someone from the center into this room. Her personal skill makes the 6th range warp possible. There's nothing fancy about this next step. Diamant just has a big sword. Time for the coup de grace. The squares directly above the escape tiles feature an enemy and a rock. This means Seadoll can't just waltz his way to victory. First, Pandreo takes the warp staff from Hortensia so that he can send Ivy past the wall. It'll be her job to rescue both Seadoll and Citrinne into the room with her. Rescue has a range of 8 tiles. This affords Ivy just enough leeway to rescue from the space 1 left and 1 up from the rock. Seadoll's unique Dancer class allows him to refresh an ally's action, and he needs to do so from above the rock. With that encore, Ivy is able to bring in the big guns. Once per engage, Emblem Byleth can refresh the actions of 4 adjacent allies. But here, 2 will suffice. With that fine performance, victory is just a repo away. Marin? Marin, can you not... Okay, fine. Take your victory lap then. Seadoll, exit stage right.
Our paths diverge for a moment. Divine One, Emblem Corin. Thank you.
That's chapter 15, with 0 kills. Join me next time to see just how useful Corin can be to a pacifist. Take care, everyone.